contexts. Now, having a gastric band fitted is often the last resort for obese people, but now a hypnotist from East Yorkshire claims that she can achieve the same weight loss, all without surgery and at a fraction of the cost. 60% of people in Hull are classed as overweight or obese. In 2007, that cost the NHS in the city more than £78 million, a bill that's set to rise to nearly £82 million by next year and keep on rising. Lindsay Smith reports.
She's about to transform the gastric habits of a patient, but Sheila Granger's tools are not surgical instruments, but power of the mind.
A virtual gastric band is a subconscious version of a gastric band operation. I subconsciously give people an operation whereby they believe, or the subconscious believes, that there is a band in place. So, and if the subconscious accepts that suggestion, it becomes a reality, and the person can limit the amount of food that's available in there that they can take into the stomach. Image. Imagine that you're standing in front of a mirror, you're seeing a reflection of yourself.
The sounds of an operating theatre are played out during the hypnosis to help trick the subconscious into believing the band has been put in place.
We're going to step out now so that Victoria's session continue, but she feels confident because of the 25 people who took part in the survey. They lost 14 stone between them and 5 metres off their body measurements.
60% of adults in Hull are either overweight or obese. A gastric bypass can cost up to £7,500. So would NHS managers in Hull consider Sheila's treatment, which costs approximately £200 a person?
I think what we'd like to see is that we have definite scientific evidence that these alternative programmes work. And until we've got that evidence and that they're approved with like Department of Health guidelines, we have to be sort of quite wary about which services we have to offer.
Victoria says the best evidence for her is that she's lost 12 pounds in 3 weeks. Her results will now help Sheila put a case forward for a bigger survey to be carried out. Lindsay Smith, BBC Look North, Hull.
A lot of people will be interested in this one. Joining me now from London is Josephine Teague from the Hypnotherapy Association. Josephine, good evening to you.
Good evening.
What real evidence is there that hypnotherapy can actually help with weight loss?
Well, only by subjective evidence at the moment, predominantly. Personally, I've dealt with quite a few people who've had weight problems, and you have to deal with each individual as they are. And I think, you know, that's the only way you can go forward. But if we can document it and have people prepared to take part in the trial, that's a wonderful idea.
Is it being used anywhere else in the NHS already at the moment?
Not that I'm aware of.
What do you think of calls for the NHS to invest in hypnosis as a treatment for obesity?
I think the NHS should invest in treatment, hypnotherapy, for all sorts of issues, not just obesity. It would save a fortune in the long run.
Of course, a lot of people will be very sceptical. They say, well, you know, hypnotherapists, they make money out of this and all the rest of it. You know, they need evidence that it's going to actually work and be worth the investment, don't they?
Well, that's very reasonable, but you need to have the money there to run the research trials to actually provide the evidence. The NHS, if they were to actually invest in a trial, they do it with IBS treatment up in Manchester. And that's worked very, very effectively. So if it works effectively and is encouraged by the NHS, why not adapt it to other things like obesity, like pain, like depression and other situations?
And it can't work for everyone, obviously.
Not everything works for everybody, but what works for some people will be fantastic, and you have to adjust treatment according to the individual.
Very interesting to talk to you. Josephine, thank you very much indeed for joining us from London tonight. That's another story, of course, that you might want to comment on.